Yes, it is batch 136 today, and I'm doing there's all the grains in here to show you. Got some rice, powdered or flaked rice is going to go in this recipe. This is my version of a pale ale Octoberfest Marzen, and I call this chlorophyll breakdown. Like the leaves fall off the tree, the chlorophyll comes out of the leaves, yada yada yada. And I made this one. This is the third or fourth time I'm making it, so it's basically a pale ale Marzen, but not lagered. It's not going to be lagered, and it's just my recipe, and we like it, so we make it again. Why wouldn't I? Let's get on with it. I got my water preheating here with this little Chinese bucket heater here, but I'm going to turn the gas on so I can speed the process up and get doughed in and go and have some more coffee. I'm putting my strike water in that's been treated with metabisulfate to remove the chloramines and chlorines. I got the pH down to 5.8, and we're going in now at trying to come in at 155. So we'll get the strike water in here first. So we're going in with my chlorophyll breakdown here. The wife is up this morning, so she's helping me stir in here. We're having a cup of coffee. We're out here in the brew house slash garage slash shop slash hot tub room slash football area slash whatever. We're looking for a dough temperature today of around 155. See, I'm going to be a little high, I think, but we're below 160-ish. This recipe calls for 1 pound of cocaine, or I mean flaked rice. Jeez, I got tied up in that White House stuff again there with that.
Come on, man.
The snifter, you know what I'm talking about? The snifter, man.
You're taking cocaine or not? What do you think, huh? Come on, man.
I get confused, so let's see if I can dump this all over the place. So let's see what my temperature is here before the rice. We're at 150. I just checked the gauge to try to calibrate it. 152, 154, 152. It's at 156 right now. 1 degree higher than I wanted to be. It's not quite a science, but we're going to throw in our rice. Look at this, it looks like flour. I like to put it on top here so we don't screw up the mash that much. Geez, I hope it's rice and it's not glue or something. it's powdered glue.
Wallpaper paste.
I just dump it in there, mix it in there. Oops, right on the ground like I said. It smells really good. So this is flaked rice. 1 pound, I put it on top. Oh, the smell of that is awesome. Do a little stir, nothing major. And I'm liking the temperature. I come in at 52, 155, like right on the money. I'm getting good at this, making sure the mash tun's warmed up. I always come in at 10, 12 degrees hotter than what I want my mash tun or my mash to be there. So let's get this in here. What am I forgetting? Let's get a little bit more water in here. Why wouldn't I? Top her off. Love it when a plan comes together. And that's the amount. Total amount of strike water was almost 8.5 gallons, believe it or not. Boy, I'm getting more proficient as my brewing process goes along. I'm getting better and better as I go. Like with age, why wouldn't I? How you doing? So we're going to put this on the stand and go in and we're going to enjoy some coffee. 155. 90 minute mash. starting to Vorloff on this. I'll do a picture or two. The color's like spot on. She's running nice and clear already, so I don't even know why I'm bothering. That's good enough, I think. I'm going to go right to the boil kettle. She's running nice and clear right from the get-go. I don't want to screw that up any more than it is. So, through my filter, we'll get her going into the boil kettle, make sure my valve is closed, and it is. And we'll just pour this back in very slowly. Not even going to go over a spoon or nothing right now.
Where's the hops?
Recording here. That water wasn't hot enough over there. So we did one pitcher of Vorloff, and we're going to go straight to the boil kettle. And I'm going to get a reading on this once it's all in there, because we're using candy sugar on this, homemade candy sugar. And that's all I can say about that now. But she, nice mash temperature. She held at 155 is exactly what we're looking for. They're almost 8.5 gallons of wort. I'm getting the rest of it here as I got the boil kettle going. And that's what the inside of the mash tun looks like. You might see some holes. I had to poke it to finish the drainage because the proteins were just so much with the rice. And it was taking forever to drain. So we did that. But also for the time being then, we got everything on and the boil is on. So we got our hops of choice today on this brew, which this is the Chlorophyll breakdown brew. I won't say it a million times, I hope. But it's 4 ounces, I believe 4.5 ounces of my homegrown Cascade hops from 2023 are going to go in for 60 minutes. And then the last 30 minutes, we'll get another 3 ounces of homegrown 2023 Cascade hops. Then I guess the Irish moss and some yeast energizer, of course. We're going to use USO5. Will be the yeast we'll be using. And what else is there to say? Oh, it gets over on the bench over there. I don't know if it's showing there. It gets 1 pound of candy sugar that I made a couple years ago. This batch is gets 1 pound of candy sugar. Pre-boil is 10:45, right out of the mash tun. 10:45 after sparging. We sparged with 1.5 gallons of treated water for a total, like I said, of almost 8.5 gallons of wort. And the bags and the hops are going to absorb some, and the boil-off rate is 2 gallons per hour. We did a 90-minute mash. That's all I can say about this batch so far. So the boil is on. Why wouldn't it be? Here she comes. The famous hot break. Let's see if we make it. Ow, ow. Turning down the gas. But I seriously doubt it. I'll knock it down with 4 ounces of Cascade hops. I'll use that to knock these bubbles down a little. So, if she rises up again, man, 2023 fresh hops. It was only picked a couple weeks ago. Here comes the hot break. She should drop and roll over by itself. It's trying. I'll let it go for a second or two here. It's pretty boring. He's starting to roll down in there, nice. She's not going to overflow. There she goes. So, 4 ounces of Cascade leaf hops. They're going in right now for 60 minutes. That'll probably start this thing to boil like crazy again. Might want to overflow once you put the hops in, so you keep an eye on it for a few seconds. You can push them down with a spoon, but I like to let them just float there by itself for a few minutes. So 60 minutes are in. I got to set a timer. Hey Siri, set a timer for 40 minutes. If you look closely, you can see the yellow lupulin coming out of the hops on top of the bag and on the foam. Look at the yellow color. That's a lot of the lupulins coming out of my beautiful homegrown hops. Why wouldn't there be? So yeah, we're on to the boil here. This might be a longer boil than normal. The mash was a 90-minute. This might actually be the same thing with the boil because of the amount of volume I have here is almost 9 gallons. Why wouldn't it be? All right, the timer just went off. So she gets, timer just went off. It gets another 3 ounces of homegrown Cascade hops. They're in. And we'll tie them to this side of the handle here. And we'll sink them down here with the spoon. They still might be frozen, nobody knows. 2023. Took them out of the freezer. So the last 20 minutes, approximately the last 20 minutes, because we might go for a little bit longer boil. We'll put those 3 ounces of hops in there and just hold them under here for a second or two. And then the trick is she gets 1 pound of homemade candy sugar. I think I made this a couple years ago. It's I use it on the brews. Anybody can make it. Check out my latest video. Very good to eat like that. Probably gonna go right to the bottom and start burning. So that's in, and we'll stir that. Make sure she don't stick to the bottom. Candy sugar is in. Time to get to it. It calls for cap full of Irish moss. That's in. And it also calls for a spoonful of yeast nutrient. Yeast energizer, you'd call it, last 15 minutes. That's in. And nothing left but the time. Hey Siri, set a timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
And we might go a little bit longer because I said we had almost 9 gallons of wort. So we want to boil this down so it fits in our fermenter. We'll get a reading on it shortly. Brew day's coming to an end. I got the flame out. I got the wort chiller in. We're chilling. And I'm going to clean up the fermenter here, get the yeast, and maybe in about 10 minutes. The lake is 72 degrees, so it's going to take a little bit longer to cool down than normal. In the winter time with that wort chiller, I can cool it down to, oh boy, within like 8 minutes, I get the temperature down to pitching the yeast. But 70-degree water takes a little bit longer. So Batch 136. A chlorophyll breakdown is coming to a close. Why wouldn't it? It went pretty smooth. Knock on wood.